Hi, and welcome to another episode of This Old Chapel. I have always wanted to say that. My name is Contractor Mike Harvey, and I'm here in the wilds of Culver City for another expedition with Kate. Today we are at Pauline Books and Media, the home of the Daughters of St. Paul. Let's take a look.
Contractor Mike Harvey has asked me to meet him here on another one of his crazy adventures. Let's see if we can find out why. And where is he? There he is. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
It looks like you're doing some shopping.
I am. I just happened to check out The Joy of Love by Pope Francis. It's his new, not encyclical, but it's an apostolic exhortation.
It's got a Latin name, doesn't it? Give it a try.
Amoris Laetitia.
Awesome. And there's the man himself.
There he is, or at least a reasonable facsimile. But the Daughters of St. Paul here in Culver City have put together a beautiful display of not only the Holy Father's apostolic exhortations, but all kinds of books, DVDs, videos, rosaries, the whole nine yards.
This is an amazing place. Look at all the stuff here.
It's a Catholic candy store right here in Culver City. Come on in, take a look. Some of these beautiful displays kind of inspired me of maybe some ways that we can take a look at Father Peyton's Mementos and maybe display some of this stuff a little bit better.
What do we have from Father Peyton?
Oh my gosh, we've got rosaries of his like crazy, some of his Bibles, we have his Mass kit, all kinds of stuff like that.
This is also an amazing building. Look at that.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, the Daughters of St. Paul had St. Elmo's Fire come in here and do a renovation.
That's your company, right?
That's right. We divided the room up into about 3 different spaces. One of them is a beautiful meeting room where they have a fantastic shipping department now, and of course the bookstore. Got a little bit smaller, but it's much more condensed and really well organized. And speaking of organization, come on over, let's talk to Sister Nancy. We were just in the neighborhood and we thought we'd stop in and say hi.
Oh, great. Nice to see you.
So, Sister Nancy, who are you and what do you do here at Pauline Books and Media?
Well, I'm the new director of our Pauline Center for Media Studies, which is the 2nd floor of this building. It's where we take the media messages and we meld it with a faith formation. And so we offer classes on media literacy education, a national film retreat, media literacy week to all different people in ministry and teachers, catechists, ministers, etc. But this bookstore is really about the ministry of the Daughters of St. Paul. You know, we live Christ and we communicate Christ. But the way we specifically do it in the church is through all forms of media. So we're publishers of books, of DVDs, music CDs, ebooks, iPhone apps, and it's our way of bringing the message of Christ to the world. So this bookstore is really like a haven for people, a center of light for the city, a place where people come to experience both Christ in His Word and His Eucharist, because we have a lovely chapel as well that's open for people all during the day.
Yeah, I see you have a prayer garden.
We do, and people can come and get a book and a cup of coffee and then sit out in the prayer garden as they reflect and pray or read. And we sometimes have events out there as well.
I think I've heard the Daughters of St. Paul. Isn't Sister Rose, the famous movie reviewer, one of you guys?
She is, and now I work with her.
Well, I know Mike brought us down here so he could get some ideas on how to display some of Father Peyton's mementos. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Sure, Mike. I can show you a little bit about merchandising. You want to see?
Fantastic, let's do it, sister.
So Mike, there's just some ways to display certain items, like the rosaries. We always line them up by category, you know, what type and pricing, as well as like the medals and the pyxes. See, everything is categorized by title, by how they look and the style that they are, and it's always in lines. So that's a key thing about merchandising, is to group things together, but to leave space around them, like on our, you know, display tables, to leave space around them to be able to see what is actually on the display.
This is a great idea. Maybe we can combine some of the ideas from this display table with some of Father Peyton's mementos and maybe incorporate the plexiglass or something as like a clear countertop. And if we arrange it right,
That's right.
It might look great.
Yeah, make it beautiful, make it, you know, attractive to the eye. So not clutter, I keep it, by category, so.
All right, that sounds good.
Mike, is this in the budget?
Of course not. But you know what? We can always ask the Holy Spirit, and if He wants it to happen, it'll happen.
Now, I hear that you guys have a chapel here.
Yes. You want to see?
I do.
Why not? So here's the entrance to our chapel. It's right at the back of the bookstore, and it's open all the time the bookstore is open. So you want to see?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow, isn't this pretty?
So we have Mass here a couple times a week for the sisters, and sometimes in the afternoon for people to join us. But we also have adoration here a couple times a week, twice a week from 2 to 3 p.m. It's a Eucharistic Adoration where people can come here and pray and be just before the Lord and just sharing whatever's in their minds and their hearts with Him. So it's really as a time of prayer where we're as the disciple before the Master. That's how our founder, Blessed James Alberione, always talked about a time of adoration with Christ.
Well, for those who may not know, because not everybody has heard of Eucharistic Adoration, what exactly goes on? Is it a ceremony? What's the story?
Well, the Blessed Sacrament that is reserved in the tabernacle is taken out of and exposed in what's called a monstrance, which is a holder for the Blessed Sacrament. And it is then exposed on the altar, and it's a time for people to really pray and come into intimate conversation with Christ.
So the Blessed Sacrament is in Catholic theology a consecrated host, a wafer, which is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ.
That's correct.
I got it right? Yeah.
The source and summit of our faith.
Exactly.
We spend time with the Blessed Sacrament. We're spending time at the foot of Jesus.
So we're going to be able to do that in our chapel too when we're done, right?
That's right.
Show us how it goes. Join us next time for This Old Chapel. And in the meantime, pray on.